First Alert Weather Plus.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us.
WLBT's First Alert Weather Team is keeping you up to date with the latest information. From your morning commute to your afternoon drive, we're on your side, streaming on your favorite devices. WLBT First Alert Weather Plus.
WLBT's First Alert Weather Team is committed to your safety with 6 hours of continuous team coverage.
This is a relentless storm, Dave.
We're fortunate we all made it out alive.
And our network of skycams across the state alerting you to danger, bringing you live footage of tornadoes as they touch down in Wathau County.
Look at this, Chase. Guys, look at that.
This is ground zero almost. I mean, this is really hard to stomach, like I said.
We take our commitment to being on your side seriously, and together we're Mississippi Strong.
Weekdays, stream First Alert Weather Plus.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us.
WLBT's First Alert Weather Team is keeping you up to date with the latest information. From your morning commute to your afternoon drive, we're on your side, streaming on your favorite devices. WLBT First Alert Weather Plus.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me here on WLBT Plus First Alert Weather Edition. I'm meteorologist Chase Rains. Oh my gosh. Right away, I'm coughing it up. I've been talking all morning about Hurricane Erin and my allergies. Let me tell you, they are getting to me. But we'll talk about the tropics right now. So let's dive into the details about Erin. So as of the most recent update, this is a look at Hurricane Erin. It's wobbling right now off to the west. Honestly, thankfully, a lot of the forecast trends are showing us it will be going north. It will turn. It's just a matter of when, because right now you can see that eye just moving really just due west right now. But I promise you the storm is making its way off to the northwest. Very impressive looking storm currently going. It's basically gone under eye wall reconstruction or eye wall replacement cycle. And we're going to be talking about this system actually tracking off to the northwest. So let me make sure. It's going under the eye wall replacement cycle right now. That will weaken it. That's good. It's very similar to really the best way that I could describe it is Katrina. And not saying that this storm is exactly like Katrina, but Katrina went under eye wall replacement cycle. And when it did, it became a much larger storm, even though it went from 5 to a 3 whenever it made landfall. That's what we're seeing now. It's going from a 4. It'll continue to drop, but it'll get much wider, much larger, bringing more widespread impacts into the Bahamas and back into areas along the East Coast. So that's what it's looking like right now. This is a look at the tropical overview. Behind Erin, there's a 50% chance of possible development out there into the central Atlantic. A lot of the models have been a bit iffy on the system. Yesterday showed potential for a storm in the Gulf. Now not showing anything in the Gulf, following Erin's footsteps. So again, please take this with a grain of salt. We won't really know until the end of the week. By the time that we hit Thursday and into Friday, we'll have a much more clear picture. But for now, we're just closely monitoring that area of possible development. Here's a look at the storm energy. Again, Erin wobbling back and forth out there into the Southwest Atlantic. So we're going to be closely watching that, especially if you have friends or family in the Bahamas or along the East Coast. We're going to be watching it track up to the Carolina coast around Wednesday and into Thursday. It doesn't really matter how close it gets now. If it beelines in between that gap, it's going to be bringing impacts just because of how wide this storm is. So that's really the biggest concern there. And then you can see that other area of development off into the end of the week. So this is a look at Friday. Of course, this is what I was really talking about out there. You can see how it's possibly developing across much of the Puerto Rican area and back into those islands. But We'll look at Erin's forecast history. So this is something that's been very interesting to me. I went up to Mississippi State this past weekend for a wedding, and I met with one of my friends. He's in the doctorate program at there, and we really spoke a lot about Erin and why it went under the rapid intensification, why this was all happening, why it's wobbling a little west. So this is what he actually had to say about it. And his thesis and what he's really focusing on is rapid intensification and hurricanes, which we've seen an uptick of as of recent. Whenever Katrina and Rita went under rapid intensification back in the early 2000s, that was really an anomaly. We hadn't seen it as much. It wasn't very common. Now it seems like every storm over the past little bit that has become a major hurricane. Milton just last year was one that went under rapid intensification. Beryl. I mean, I can name you multiple others. Ian. It's just a lot of these storms recently have gone under rapid intensification. That's something he's studying. The reason that we've seen the more westward track with this than originally forecasted was actually because of how strong it got. The rapid intensification of that cell or that system actually took it a little bit further off to the west, and it's been wobbling quite a bit out there. Thankfully, it's starting to track off to the northwest at 13 miles an hour, which is a good thing. We want this to stay as far away from land as possible because this thing is a monster. Again, currently winds of 130 miles an hour, pressure of 933 millibars. Oh, my goodness. It did get down to really actually up to a Category 5 and down to 915 millibars, which is a very, very strong system out there in the Atlantic. So that is thankfully staying out to sea. Right now, the current forecast model trends do have it still off to the northwest. It's just a matter of how far west will it track towards that Carolina coast. Again, it's going to be weakening. Thankfully so. It's going to be moving into a little bit more of cool waters. Still something that we're going to be closely monitoring. Here's a look at the spaghetti models with that. They're not very impressive right now. Let me be honest. Good morning, Melissa Price, and good morning to everyone else watching. They're in an agreement that it will be making its way off to the northwest. It's just a matter of where exactly to the coast. The consensus is still staying in between the island of Bermuda and then back into the east coast. So then it takes its way off out to sea, thankfully. So this is a look at the forecast cone history. So we saw that trend of it shifting off to the west, and you can see that with the cone as well, where we've stayed away from the land, even though it's gotten fairly close. It stayed well out of the forecast track for a couple of days there as it went under the rapid intensification. The models were not verifying in any way, shape, or form. We spoke about this a lot on Saturday, or I didn't speak to y'all about this, but I'm going to tell you what I talked to my meteorology friend about. And the reason that the models were just not picking up on it was just because of the rapid intensification. The GFS and the European model all were showing initialization, which means that's where the model starts at roughly 50 millibars ahead or above what the actual storm was. So the storm was a Category 5 at 915 millibars, and it was starting out at 950, 960, 970 millibars, which is a wide variety difference. So obviously, we're not going to get good data from that if it's initializing wrong. If it's telling me the wrong data now, who's to say what it's going to actually do? So that's why it was very hard to actually forecast the storm out there as it went under the rapid intensification. So thankfully, it's still expected to stay out to sea. We have a much more clear picture now that it's gone under the rapid intensification, now that it's going under the eye wall replacement cycle. So that's what we're tracking now. Obviously, there's that possible area out there. We're going to be watching that all very closely, making sure you have the more details about that. So about that system out there into the central Atlantic, there's a lot of iffy things out there. Let's actually stop this and see if we can go all the way out there. You can kind of see it well off into that central Atlantic area. It's just that cluster of thunderstorms. Let me pull up. Oh, that's not what I want to pull up. Let me pull up. Let me pull up this for you so I can show y'all. I'm gonna pull up Tropical Tidbits so that we can look at what's going on out there with that system there, the potential of that system. So we'll run through some of the model runs. And again, don't take this for an exact science because they've been extremely inaccurate with Erin. And honestly, I'm taking Erin at a bird's eye view approach as we're going to be closely watching that. So I think I got it. Let me turn this on real quick. Make sure it's on. Why is this not working? Okay, it's connected. That's why. Okay, we're good to go. All right. So this is a look at tropical tidbits out here into this is the GFS run. I'm gonna make it to where you can see the GFS run. Okay. So it has Erin out there, 954. See, this is exactly what I was talking about, actually. We just saw the pressure of Erin. So Erin's current pressure is 930 millibars. The GFS is initializing at 950 millibars. That's 20 millibars higher. That's not necessarily good data, to be honest. And that's just infuriating. It does have it weakening to 930 millibars, but it's currently at 930 millibars. It has it weakening there. So again, or gaining strength. So it's incorrect data as it is. So basically everything that you're looking at is not, if it doesn't initialize correctly, that doesn't tell me anything good for the future. And that's just infuriating. But it's showing that it's making its way in between the Carolina coast and the island of Bermuda. And then that system out at sea, it doesn't really have anything developing, has that potential to areas basically in the Bahamas along the East Coast. Good morning, everyone. I haven't looked over at this computer in a second. So good morning, Tanya. Good morning, Durr, Gail, Luis, and Doris. Good morning, everyone. And good morning to y'all, especially for waking up early with me and getting ready for your day with me this morning. The European model, not necessarily very good either. It has it dropping down into the day on Wednesday as well. So it still is at 20 millibars higher than what it actually is out there. So good morning, Anita. Good morning, Goldie, as well. So still has a fairly strong storm out there. And then the European model has that other possible development just right there, following out to sea. So again, please don't believe everything that you see on the internet. Please, I've seen a lot of stuff saying, oh, it's tracking west. That's just clickbait, people. I mean, yes, has it been tracking west? Yeah, I mean, yes, but it was forecasted to track a little west before turning off to the north. Like it has. A lot of people were foreshadowing it actually hitting Florida or the Carolinas. It's not going to make landfall in those places, but it will be bringing impactful surf conditions out there. Actually, some of the let me try to make sure I'm giving you this information correctly. I saw something on regarding Hurricane Erin that the storm surge will be very impactful to areas like that. So the rip current map, let's actually go to this. Yes. Okay. Actually, this is perfect. I'm going to pull this back up. So taking in the little map mini. So this will look at the rip current risk out there. This is Erin right here off the Bahamas. Even though it's not going to be making landfall, I mean, look at the rip current risk all along the East Coast, basically from Miami all the way up to New Jersey and New York. You're going to be talking about dangerous rip currents, even moderate rip current risk out there along South Carolina and North Carolina. But the North Carolina coast up here actually have been issuing mandatory evacuations for Erin just because of the substantial storm surge that we're going to be seeing from this storm out there. So this is a look at the warnings right now. Oh, sorry. So the Bahamas actually have been included in some of those tropical storm watch warnings. Just look how large that wind field is. The hurricane force winds are much more around the center, but as the system makes its way off to the northwest, going to be closely watching that very closely, just making sure that we're giving everyone the exact details. And then the amount of rainfall is substantial as well. This system's no joke, people. I mean, the key messages that they're talking about are just a lot of urban flooding, flash flooding, a main concern, rip currents. The waves, I saw something that we'll be talking about 100-foot waves out there, which is just crazy. This storm is no joke. The amount of strength it has, the intensity, it is something to be in awe of. But thankfully, it'll stay away and out to sea. Good morning, everyone else. I think I said good morning to Anita. Good morning, Renee. Good morning, Fanny and Doris as well. Goldie. Everyone, thank you all so much for watching early this morning. I'm very thankful to have all you tune in to me and choose me to watch early this morning. Just make sure you have a great day here at home. Just staying hot and muggy for the foreseeable future. No major changes into your local forecast. Again, the only thing that we're going to be tracking is just the chances of rainfall, staying very isolated here into your first alert forecast. So keep your reindeer close by, find ways to beat the heat, and we'll have more details coming up throughout the rest of your morning.